Blood pooled beneath Jack Harmon as he dragged himself through the narrow maintenance shaft of the colony ship. Defiance. Each breath burned in his chest. The wound in his side wouldn't stop bleeding. He pressed his hand against it, but the red kept seeping through his fingers. He reached the small viewport and pulled himself up to look outside. What he saw made his heart stop. The Krell warships, massive and black against the stars, fired again and again. Their weapons cut through the civilian evacuation ships like they were made of paper. Thousands of people, families, children gone in flashes of light. "No," Jack whispered, his voice breaking. He slammed his fist against the thick glass. Useless. 3 days ago, life had been normal. Jack had been fixing a power relay on the colony's eastern sector when the alarm started. He'd rushed outside with the other workers to see the sky filled with ships, not human ships. Alien vessels, angular and threatening, darkening the sky of New Terra like storm clouds. The colony's communication system crackled to life. A harsh, clicking voice spoke in perfect English. "Humans of New Terra, the Krell Dominion claims this world. Your species has been contained as a protected primitive race for your own safety. Your recent technological advances have violated the terms of your quarantine. Surrender now." Jack remembered the silence that followed, the fear on everyone's faces. Governor Holt had refused their terms. "Earth will send help," he'd said during the emergency broadcast. "We just need to hold out." Jack hadn't believed it. He'd served 10 years in Earth's defense forces before becoming a civilian contractor. He knew how outmatched they were. He'd found Sam Vega that night, drinking alone in the colony bar. Sam had been his squad leader years ago. Now he ran security for New Terra. "They've blockaded Earth," Sam told him, sliding a data pad across the table. "Has been for months. No help is coming." The images showed Earth surrounded by the same black ships now hovering over New Terra. "Why now?" Jack had asked. "Why attack us now?" Sam's eyes were hard. "Because we're finally becoming a threat." The next morning, the Krell began what they called cleansing protocols. Their ships targeted power plants first, and water treatment facilities. By afternoon, they hit residential sectors. Jack had been on a video call with his wife Maria and 6-year-old daughter Lily when their building was hit. The screen showed them smiling, then static, just static. He'd screamed till his voice gave out. Now, bleeding and alone in the maintenance shaft, Jack watched the last evacuation ships try to break through the Krell blockade. One by one, they exploded in silent bursts of fire. His comm unit buzzed. With shaking hands, he answered. It was a broadcast from Earth. For the first time in human history, a single person spoke for all nations, all colonies, all of humanity. Today, the Krell Dominion has shown their true intentions toward our species. They believe us weak. They believe us divided. They are wrong. The speaker paused. As of this moment, humanity is at war. We will not surrender. We will not be contained. And we will not be exterminated. Jack felt something stir inside him, cutting through the pain and grief. Something primal. Something human. The Krell had made a terrible mistake. 6 months had passed since New Terra fell. Jack crouched in the ruins of what was once downtown Chicago, watching Krell patrol ships hover above the broken skyline. His beard was thick, his eyes hollow. The wound in his side had healed, leaving an ugly scar that pulled tight when he moved. "They're moving east," he whispered into his comm unit. 3 ships, standard patrol pattern. "Copy that," came the reply from Lisa Chun, his spotter. "Wait for my signal." Jack checked his weapon, a modified pulse rifle stolen from a dead Krell soldier. Human guns barely scratched their armor. You had to use their own tech against them. He'd made it back to Earth on a refugee ship, one of the few that escaped the slaughter at New Terra. The planet he returned to was barely recognizable. Major cities burned, governments collapsed. But humans fought back with everything they had. The comm crackled again. Now, Jack. He sprinted across the rubble-strewn street toward the abandoned subway entrance. 2 other resistance fighters followed close behind. They slipped underground just as Krell spotlights swept over the area. The tunnels were humanity's advantage. The Krell were too big to follow easily, and something about the underground seemed to interfere with their sensors. "You're late," said Colonel Diane Foster, as Jack's team reached the makeshift base. The former shopping mall beneath the city had been converted into a resistance headquarters. Hundreds of people lived here now, soldiers and civilians alike. "Had to dodge extra patrols," Jack explained. "They're increasing security around the lake." Foster nodded grimly. "They know we're planning something." She led Jack through the crowded base to a sealed door guarded by armed soldiers. They checked his ID before letting him pass. Inside was Project Phoenix. Jack still couldn't believe what he was seeing. Dr. Lena Wright stood before a massive device that hummed with power. She was young for her position, maybe 30, with dark skin and focused eyes that rarely blinked. "Mr. Harmon," she said without looking up from her tablet. "Good. We need your engineering expertise. What exactly am I looking at?" Jack asked, staring at the machine. "Our last hope," Foster answered. "Forbidden's tech. The kind that got us into this mess in the first place." Dr. Wright finally looked up. "The Krell attacked because they feared what we might become. This will show them their fears were justified." Jack spent hours working with Wright's team, helping calibrate the weapon's power systems. It was like nothing he'd ever seen, part human tech, part reverse-engineered Krell components. That night, he joined a mission to capture a Krell communications hub. Their team of 12 slipped through enemy lines in the darkness. Jack planted charges while others secured the perimeter. The fight was brutal. 3 humans died in the first exchange. Jack took a glancing hit that burned through his jacket and seared his arm, but they secured the hub. As the team downloaded Krell data, Jack noticed something strange on one of the screens. He called Dr. Wright on the secure channel. "There's something you need to see," he said, sending the data. "It's not just one alien species. The Krell are a coalition of 7 different races." "That matches our theory," Wright replied. "Keep looking." Jack dug deeper into the files. What he found made his blood run cold. "They quarantined us," he said, voice shaking with rage. "All this time, they kept us isolated because they were afraid of us. Not our technology us. Human aggression. Human adaptability. And now?" Wright asked. Jack stared at the final document on the screen. "They attacked because we were developing FTL drives. They knew once humans could spread to the stars, they couldn't stop us." An explosion rocked the building. "We've got company," someone shouted. As Jack ran to help defend their position, alarms blared throughout the facility. On the main screen, he saw it happening. The first real human counterattack. Suicide ships, loaded with experimental weapons, crashed into Krell motherships orbiting Earth. The explosions created a chain reaction that lit up the night sky like a new sun. For the first time since the war began, Jack felt something close to hope. The Krell weren't invincible after all. 1 year into the war, and Jack Harmon was a different man. His face was harder, lined with new scars. He commanded Strike Team Vengeance, a unit of 12 soldiers who specialized in hit-and-run attacks against Krell targets. "Breach in 30 seconds, Jack said, checking the charge on his weapon. His team crouched in the landing bay of their stealth shuttle, faces grim beneath tactical helmets. They were approaching a Krell research facility built into the side of Olympus Mons on Mars. Intelligence suggested the aliens were conducting experiments there. Human experiments. "Remember," Jack told his team, "we get the data, free any prisoners, and blow the place to hell." The shuttle rocked as it landed. The ramp dropped with a hiss, and Team Vengeance poured out into the red-tinted corridor. 2 Krell guards died before they could raise the alarm. The aliens were tall, nearly 8 feet, with armored exoskeletons that gleamed under the emergency lights. Their 4 eyes went dark as they collapsed. "Move," Jack ordered. Humanity was losing the war. Everyone knew it. But they fought with a ferocity that shocked the Krell. Where other species surrendered after losing major battles, humans just fought harder, dirtier, with whatever they had left. A team split into 3 groups. Jack led his squad deeper into the facility, toward the main research lab. The corridors were eerily quiet. "I don't like this," said Rivera, Jack's second-in-command. "Where are all the guards?" They found out when they reached the central chamber. The room was massive, filled with glass containment cells. Inside each cell was a human, or what used to be a human. The Krell had modified them, adding tech and alien body parts. Some were still alive, watching with empty eyes as Team Vengeance entered. "God," someone whispered. Jack moved forward, scanning the cells for survivors who could be saved. Most were too far gone. Then he stopped cold. In the last cell, strapped to a metal table, was Sam Vega. "Sam?" Jack pressed his hand against the glass. "Sam." Sam's eyes fluttered open. Half his face was covered in Krell tech, wires disappearing under his skin. One arm had been replaced with a Krell limb. "Jack," he rasped. "You shouldn't be here." Jack blasted the lock and rushed in. "We're getting you out." Sam shook his head weakly. "Too late for me." "But listen, this is important." He grabbed Jack's arm with his remaining human hand. "They're afraid of us, Jack. The Krell. All of them. We're the only species that keeps fighting after we lose." "Save your strength," Jack said, working to free him from the restraints. "No, listen." Sam's voice grew urgent. "They're making a weapon. A bioweapon that targets human DNA. They're going to release it on Earth." Rivera appeared at the door. "Commander, we found their data center. We're downloading everything now." Jack nodded. "Get a medical team in here. We're taking him with us." "You can't," Sam said. His voice changed, becoming deeper, more mechanical. The Krell tech on his face pulsed with light. "It's in me, Jack, the weapon prototype, and I can feel it taking control." Sam's body convulsed. The alien arm lashed out, nearly catching Jack across the throat. "The modifications," Sam gasped, fighting for control. "They're turning us into them, making us fight for them." His human eye locked with Jack's. "You have to kill me. Please." Jack stepped back, raising his weapon. His hand shook. "Do it," Sam begged. "While I'm still me." Jack pulled the trigger. 10 minutes later, Team Vengeance fought their way back to the landing bay. They had the data and samples of the bioweapon. They could develop a defense now. They stole a Krell shuttle, faster than their own, and blasted away from Mars. Jack sat silently in the pilot's seat, Sam's blood still on his hands. As they approached Earth, Krell defense systems locked onto them. The shuttle rocked with impacts. "We're hit!" Rivera shouted from the engine room. "Controls failing." The shuttle spun toward Earth, trailing smoke and fire. Jack fought with the controls as they entered the atmosphere. "Brace for impact." He yelled as they plunged toward Krell-occupied territory, carrying the one thing that might save humanity if they survived the crash. Jack woke to the sound of strange machinery. His body felt heavy, like he was underwater. He tried to move but couldn't. Panic surged through him until the face appeared above him, not human. The alien had smooth gray skin and 4 black eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Smaller than a Krell, with a more slender build. "The human is awake," it said in accented English. "Vital signs stabilizing." Jack tried to speak, but could only cough. His throat felt like sandpaper. "Do not attempt to move," the alien said. "You have suffered severe injuries." Memories flooded back, the shuttle spinning out of control. Rivera screaming as the hull tore open, the ground rushing up to meet them. "My team?" Jack managed to say. "You were the only survivor," the alien replied. "We found you in the wreckage." Jack closed his eyes. more deaths on his conscience, more names to remember. "Who are you?" he asked. "Where am I?" "I am Kernak. You are in a Vex medical facility." Jack tensed. "Vex? You're Krell?" "No." Kernak's voice hardened. "We are Vex. We were once part of the Krell Dominion, but no longer. We were the first species they conquered, 500 years ago." Over the next few days, as Jack healed, he learned more. The Vex had been enslaved by the dominant Krell species. They'd been forced to fight in the Dominion's wars, to help conquer other races, but they had secretly built their own resistance. When the Krell attacked Earth, the Vex saw an opportunity. Humans fought harder than any species they'd ever seen. If anyone could help overthrow the Krell, it was humans. A week after waking, Jack met with the Vex leadership. They gathered in a circular chamber deep underground. Jack was still weak, but insisted on standing. "We propose an alliance," said the Vex leader, an older female named Sharva. "We have technology. You have the will to fight." Jack laughed bitterly. "You want us to trust aliens? After what the Krell did to us? To my friend Sam?" Kernak stepped forward. "We recovered data from your crashed ship. The bioweapon the Krell are developing. I can help you understand it." "Why would you help us?" Jack demanded. "Because if the Krell destroy humans, we lose our best chance at freedom," Sharva said simply. "And because what they do is wrong." Jack thought of Sam, of his wife and daughter, of all the humans who had died. Could he really trust these aliens? But what choice did he have? 2 weeks later, Jack led a joint human-Vex mission to infiltrate a Krell command ship. The Vex provided stealth technology that made their small craft invisible to Krell sensors. Jack's new team included 3 humans who had been rescued by the Vex and 4 Vex soldiers. Kernak had helped them develop a virus that would target the neural implants all Krell soldiers used. It wouldn't kill them, but it would disable their weapons and communications. "Docking complete," whispered Ren, one of the human soldiers. No alarms. They cut through the airlock and entered the massive Krell vessel. The corridors were huge, designed for the larger Krell. The team moved silently, following Kernak's directions to the central computer core. The first fight came at a security checkpoint. 2 Krell guards died silently, but a third managed to sound an alarm before Jack shot it. "Move faster," Jack ordered. "We don't have much time." They fought their way to the computer core, losing 2 Vex soldiers in the process. Kernak worked quickly, uploading the virus while the others defended the position. "It's done," Kernak said finally. "The virus is spreading through their network. All around them, Krell systems began to fail. Lights flickered. Doors opened and closed randomly. As they fought their way back to their ship, Jack saw Krell soldiers collapse as their neural implants shut down. It was working, but the victory was costly. By the time they reached their ship, only Jack, Kernak, and 1 other human remained alive. As they escaped, Jack accessed the Krell command files Kernak had stolen. What he saw made his blood freeze. The Krell leadership had ordered the complete sterilization of Earth. A massive fleet of planet-killer ships was already on its way. From the viewport of the Vex ship, Jack watched in horror as the first wave of the Krell extermination fleet emerged from FTL near Earth. Hundreds of massive ships, far more than the human defenses could possibly handle. "We're too late," he whispered. Jack stood in the underground bunker beneath what used to be Denver. The air was stale and cold. Around him, the last leaders of the human resistance argued about their final options. "The Krell planet killers will be in firing position in 6 hours, Colonel Foster said, pointing at the holographic display. "Our remaining ships can't stop them." Jack stepped forward. "We have one option left. Project Phoenix." The room went silent. Dr. Wright nodded slowly. "It's ready," she said. "But we need someone to deliver it to the heart of the Krell command ship." "A suicide mission," Foster said flatly. Jack met her eyes. "I'll do it." No one argued. They all knew he was the best pilot they had left. An hour later, Jack stood before the weapon that might save humanity. Project Phoenix looked deceptively simple, a metal sphere about the size of a basketball. Inside was technology that would turn the Krell's own systems against them. It creates a cascading failure in all Krell tech within range, Dr. Wright explained as technicians loaded it onto Jack's ship. Their ships, weapons, even their implants will shut down permanently. "What's the range?" Jack asked. "From the command ship?" "The entire fleet." Kernock approached as the final preparations were made. The Vex had brought the remaining ships to help create an opening for Jack's mission. "My people will fight beside yours," Kernock said. "Today, we both seek freedom." Jack nodded, unable to speak. He thought of Maria and Lily, of Sam, of everyone he'd lost. This was for them. As he climbed into the pilot seat of the small, fast ship, memories washed over him. Maria laughing as they danced in their apartment on New Terra. Lily's first steps. The look in Sam's eyes before Jack pulled the trigger. "Ready for launch," said the controller's voice in his ear. Jack took a deep breath. Ready. The battle was already raging when Jack's ship shot from the hidden Earth base. The sky burned with weapons fire. Human and Vex ships, vastly outnumbered, fought desperately against the Krell fleet. "This is Phoenix 1, Jack said into the com. "I need a path to the command ship." "Copy Phoenix 1, came Foster's voice. Strike teams moving to create opening. Jack pushed his ship to its limits, dodging Krell fire. A squadron of Vex fighters flew beside him, taking hits meant for his ship. One by one, they exploded in silent bursts of light. "Thank you," Jack whispered as the last Vex fighter sacrificed itself to destroy a Krell cruiser blocking his path. The Krell command ship loomed ahead, massive, bristling with weapons. Jack's ship shuddered as it took a hit to the left engine. "Systems failing," the computer announced calmly. "Autopilot offline." "Don't need it," Jack muttered, taking manual control. Another hit. The right engine died. The ship began to spin. Jack fought the controls, aiming for the command ship's main hangar. Alarms blared. The hull temperature was rising. They were trying to cook him before he could reach them. With a final burst from the maneuvering thrusters, Jack crashed through the hangar shields. His ship skidded across the deck, smashing into parked Krell fighters before coming to a stop. Blood ran down Jack's face. Multiple bones were broken. But he was inside. Krell soldiers surrounded the ship, weapons ready. Jack grabbed Project Phoenix and dragged himself from the wreckage. The Krell fired. Jack felt the impacts, but kept moving. The Phoenix was designed to activate at the ship's core. He had to reach it. Somehow, he made it to the central corridor. His vision was fading. Each breath brought blood to his lips. But he kept crawling, the Phoenix clutched to his chest. Finally, he reached the pulsing core of the ship. With his last strength, Jack activated the Phoenix and watched as it began to glow. The effect was immediate. All around him, Krell systems failed. Lights died. Gravity flickered. The Krell themselves fell, their neural implants shutting down. Jack collapsed against a wall, watching through a viewport as the effect spread. Krell ships began to drift, weapons silent. Some fell toward Earth, burning up in the atmosphere. His COMM unit crackled. "Phoenix 1, do you copy?" "Jack, are you there?" "I'm here," he whispered. "Did it work?" "It worked." Foster's voice was thick with emotion. "The Krell fleet is dead in space. And we're getting reports all across the galaxy. Their ships are failing. Other species are rising up." Jack smiled, blood on his lips. He thought of Maria and Lily. He would see them soon. "We were never meant to be caged," he said softly as his eyes closed. "And now we never will be again." In space above Earth, the stars shone on a new reality, one where humanity had proven that the most dangerous species in the galaxy was the one that refused to surrender, no matter the odds.